when Rogelio had last seen it, now looked gray and puffy. The mouth was barely open, and the eyes had rolled back in a death moan. No amount of detox spa scalp exfoliation was going to save him now. Rogelio shrieked loudly, "Como una niña!" The day had begun. 6 hours later, LAPD homicide detective Esmael Martinez stood in the yoga room of that same Beverly Hills mansion. Martinez had dismissed the gardener, innocence determined, to drown his morning terrors in a lunchtime michelada. Inside the yoga room, responding officers had found 3 other mats holding equally gruesome parcels. One enveloped a bloated, hairy, naked torso. Another held 2 arms and 2 legs bound together with yoga straps like corded wood. The third and vilest contained a variety pack of viscera, a horrible rubber burrito of guts and bile that made a huge, stinky mess when the mat unrolled. At least one officer blew his breakfast. "A yoga room," Martinez said. "A goddamn yoga room." Such houses used to have billiard rooms, indoor swimming pools, bowling alleys, or even a second living area. But now that extra leisure space was all waxed bamboo flooring, red flowing silk, and Hindu iconography. You weren't a proper West Side doyen unless you kept a handcrafted harmonium in the corner under an imported Krishna tapestry. Martinez had done yoga. It was hard to avoid yoga in LA. He'd felt pretty mellow for hours afterward, too. But he'd soon decided that his evenings were better spent drinking tequila and beer and watching Gladiator. Having Russell Crowe at full volume on his custom-installed home theater system made him seriously feel like a man. Still, even with his limited experience, Martinez knew something had gone sour here. Wasn't yoga supposed to be about calming down the mind and loving your fellow humans? For a discipline that preached peace, love, and relaxation, it sure seemed like yoga made a lot of people who practiced it totally crazy, and sometimes dead. The dismembered man wrapped in the yoga mat had used his considerable Hollywood power to bring a couple of Kate Hudson comedies into the world, which in turn had paid for his wife's Eastern-tinted spiritual fetish. And now look at him. His head had been sealed in a bag and taken somewhere cold, to rot more slowly. Martinez didn't quite understand, but he knew someone who claimed to. That someone entered the room. Matt Bolster stood about 6'2" with sandy blonde hair, slightly receding, close to shoulder length, and 3 days of graying stubble. His body was fit, though certainly nothing special in this Hollywood era of 4-hour pre-lunch workouts. Walking through the average American airport, this guy would have been a relative Hercules, but in LA, he was just another pretty good-looking middle-aged dude with a casual style. He wore light brown pants crafted from the finest hemp, brown flip-flops, and a t-shirt depicting Dr. Bruce Banner meditating in lotus posture. The words "Hulk Relax" were written underneath. There was some red in his eyes. He looked like he'd just rolled out of bed, not necessarily his own. Matt Bolster was a man with few attachments. "Hey, Bolster," said Martinez. "Nice of you to show." "I got here as fast as I could." "I called you 4 hours ago." "Like I said." "I don't know. You showed up pretty fast after Ajoy Chaterjee was murdered." "I really needed the money then." "You need the money now, too." "Not quite as much." Of course, Bolster still needed it pretty badly, but he didn't want Martinez, his former partner, to know that. Make him think you're flush, Bolster, he thought. Don't show weakness. Matt Bolster had once been an LAPD homicide detective, just like Martinez. But one day a girl took Bolster to the Hollywood YMCA for a yoga class. Within months, he'd quit the force, cashed in his modest pension, and moved to a small apartment just off Venice Beach. Now Bolster was a certified instructor with 500 hours of study tucked into his stretchy shorts. Suddenly, his given name became very ironic. How could his parents